Welcome back to Social Media and Web Analytics. It's week 4, and as usual, I thought I'd take a few minutes to talk through what we're going to be discussing this week. The video of the lecture for this week is going to talk about the topic word of mouth. So this is going to be the idea that consumers might make decisions based on what other consumers say in terms of like product quality or the volume of conversations. So you could think of it as I'm thinking about what movie to attend. And when I make that decision, I might be reading some online kind of forum, say Twitter, for example, and my decision might be influenced by the volume of tweets about a movie and also the sentiment, so how positive or negative the conversation may be. So the goal of this lecture is to think about what is word of mouth, and then can we quantify, ideally credibly, the effects of word of mouth in terms of both volume and sentiment. So volume being just the amount of conversation on a platform, sentiment being how positive or negative that conversation may be. And our goal, as I suggested before, is about building up a credible estimate of these effects and seeing if they exist at all. Why this might be hard is that online word of mouth, sort of just take, for example, the volume of conversation that we see on, say, Twitter about some movie X-Men is likely highly correlated with the amount of offline discussion about the movie X-Men. And if we don't have a way of thinking about omitted variable bias and the idea that conversation doesn't only happen on one platform or only online, do the estimates that we come up with, if we just ignore it or ignore all that offline action, make any sense? We'll also think about if the estimated effects might differ across product type. So, are they different for large products versus small products within a category? Or like things like a brand new product versus releasing something like an updated iPhone or something like that. In the lab assignment this week, we're going to be using and talking about the tools from last week's computer lecture on text analytics. So it's going to be treating text as data in the same way I did in the computer lecture, tidying it up, working with the data and visualizing summaries of words. The application is going to be about fake review detection. So is it possible to see through the words people use when they write reviews, whether they are fake or truthful, and then visualizing, these words are more common in fake reviews versus truthful reviews. I think this is actually a really fun assignment to work through and kind of figure out, when you read a review, people actually use very specific words when they're trying to fake that they were at a hotel. I think that's a super interesting topic. In the lab session, we're going to be working through a group presentation, Again, this is going to be 2 groups talking about the word of mouth topic. And then we'll use the last 25 or so minutes to go through the answers to last week's lab assignment on difference and differences, if anyone has any questions on that. And finally, what else should you be working on this week? In addition to watching the video lecture, working on the lab assignment and coming to the lab section, finishing group technical assignment 1, it's due this Friday. So getting that finished is probably near the top of your priority list. If you have a group presentation coming up, people want to work on that. So far, a lot of people have been coming to talk to me about their group presentation. I've really enjoyed it. And I think it's been really beneficial to kind of bounce an idea around before presenting it for the first time kind of to the entire lab section. So, I'd encourage you to keep doing that and coming to see me if that's what you've been doing. And if you haven't done it in your first group presentation, maybe doing it for the next one coming up in the next few weeks. And then start thinking about exam revision and a strategy that you want to employ to revise for the exam for this class. Why? We're approximately halfway through now. So you should start thinking, okay, I'm going to sit an exam in a month or so's time. How am I going to organize my time? How am I going to organize my material? Kind of go through and revise for all the material covered in this class. I look forward to talking to you in the video lecture about word of mouth and seeing you guys in the lab section if you're in my section. See you soon.